Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be reading a creepypasta story. Jeff X reader. Yay! I got bored and I decided let's start on a new book while I wait on the other part of the 𝕤𝕗 X reader one. So shall we continue on with the other book? Alright, let's go. Okay, so we got chapter 1, and this has 59 chapters, so if you want a part 3, part 4, part 5, let me know. Alright, let's start. You weren't always like this, an outcast, sent away by your own family, your own flesh and blood, to be trapped in a god-forsaken place full of pain and misery. There was nothing left for you, nothing. At first you tried to ignore it, the name-calling monster freak demon, which isn't your fault. You never asked for this. You never wanted to be this. It was a burden. You hated every second of your life. You now live trying to think day in, day out. All those nights that passed by, desperately trying to think about where it all went. Sir, it's whining. Toad, it's alive. A child yells as he points in your direction in panic, but also excitement as you sat up at your school desk. Impossible! The teacher spat out as he stand to his feet, rushing over it. The boy and the other student were doing the same. You ignored them, giggling at the life, and Toad it was given a second chance. It was you. You helped it. Your mother said it was a gift from the gods. Although you didn't know about whenever it was actually the goal. What is a god? A being that creates new worlds, new life? That wasn't you. Your gift, new life. Oh my god, I read that twice. It wasn't to create new life. It was given to you so you can create chaos, life back to those who had lost it, but you just think that you were one of those unlucky ones, unable to crush life. Whine in, what's going on? Where did you get this animal? From the garden? Did you bring it from home? Where's your dead spiceman I gave you for this experiment? You shake your head with a wild smile, your hair floating back and forth, slightly blood brushing against the skin of your cheeks as you giggle. A child full of nothing but pure happiness. Look, sir, it can still be happy. It's alive. Isn't it wonderful? You couldn't stop smiling. This wasn't the first time you had successfully given its life back. You were told that your gift, but never been able to use it till now. Encanto vibes? Is that just me? Nonsense. This animal is supposed to be dead for scientific research. Now do as I say and stop fooling around with whatever your last name is. The teacher hisses through his yellow teeth, grabbing hold of the skeptical and giving it straight into Todd's back. No! You screamed, but it was too late. The Todd's festooned legs stopped flipping and eventually came to rest. A painful end. The blade that once pierced its heart yanked out, slammed into the desk. Now give back to... actually, I don't know what it's called. I'm gonna call it killing it. You listening to me, name? Or whining? But you weren't. You can take your eyes off the poor Todd, Toad that lay there dead before you. There was once dead, given a life, a chance, a new start, only for that one chance to be crushed and taken away once again. This infuriated you, so you done the one thing you did best. Giving life, that was a new thing for you, but taking life, that was a piece of the cake. By this time, you were only 7 years, beginning to have a new life at the age of 7, but you've been taking life since the age of 3. Just to let you guys know, this might be a short video, because I'm in a bathroom and I don't like sitting here. So, I might do just 3 chapters, or 4 chapters, or 5 chapters, depending on how I'm feeling. I'm also about to come out with a gacha channel, do some extra posting on. Gacha channel, practically it. Slowly lifting your head, you range stare at him, burning your eyes locked on your teacher as you stare deep into his soul. Standing out of your seat slowly, watching him intensely as he begins to grow anxious, slightly and thrusting his tight, clears his throat. Take your seat. You ignore him, the rage building up inside you as your eyes look with it. I said take a seat. See, he was interrupted by his own agonist screams as his hands clutched tightly around the side of his head, his eyes clutching teeth and were grinding together as he continued to yell in pain, thrusting his head to the side, stumbling across the room, crashing into tables, falling over chairs. Bleed begins to dribble from his nose and his eyes. Though his ears, practice set him on fire. Just a slight admin turning up the heat in the middle of just a bit of whoa, yeah. It was over blood splatters across the walls, floor, ceiling, desks, and chairs, even on the students. Shots of brown matter colored following the blood trails. The teacher had explosions. You had many ways of taking lives, multiple to them, even on their own lives, manipulating, controlling objects to kill them too. But your favorite, turning their brain into a microwave, the screams of children from the classroom below the hallway as they run for their lives, the fear that the child had fled through its spine. It was child giving life, taking it back. That was the day people found out about you. Just 7 years old, already a murderer? What kind of life is that for a child? Well, you could say it's even worse, after the day your mother and father could no longer protect you. Your other previous killings were small, just animals, a neighbor's cat, a few birds, nothing major. Things that are easy to hide and keep a secret. But killing a human in front of 30 other young students, leaving all the evidence for 60 teachers and a lot more students to see if there was no hiding, there's no turning back. So your parents took the easy route rather than defending you. They did the worst thing imaginable. Taking you to the police? No, too easy. Nothing could come out of it. Oh, shit. Nothing would come out of it. You were only 7. If anything, your mom and father would be the only ones charged and convicted. No. They needed something that would assure that they would be safe and far away from you. Adoption? The orphanage? They gave you to a psychological hospital. Oh, that's the worst place. A place for dangerous and bad medical people, you might say. They thought the doctors could help you, but they did not. They did nothing, a sort of experiments on you every hour of the day, looking for answers on trying to how to figure out what's possible, and trying to find out ways to manipulate you, turning you into some sort of weapon. You reassure your parents for doing this. They put you in this hellhole, and you are going to make sure that they pay for what they did. Alright guys, this is Reader's Proof, and I'm sorry if you hear a lot of static and stuff. I don't know why, but Reader's Proof, years and years. I've been here since I was 7 years old. I've never left this room. I've looked away insulted. It's been years since I've left the wind against my face and the grass beneath my feet, the mud and the rain, though the sunlight. It's been a long day, so my room has no windows and nothing left to keep me entertained. Only a bed, that's all I have, a bed and a door. But the door was always locked from the outside, and only doctors or nurses could come in. I dread every time that the door opens, as I know it's something good. It's nothing good. When I first came, I thought it meant food. It meant no food. It came through a small hinge at the bottom of the door. And if that opened, there's something. If the entrained door opens, that's big trouble. To be honest, I'm surprised I haven't gone insane. I haven't left this room when I first came. I was allowed out for a few times, but that didn't end well for a few people, so they kept me locked away. It's driving me nuts. I thought that maybe I could become close to a few people and starting a rebound in which we got the chance, but not even if that's possible now. Although I did not make one friend. Her name was Sakura. Naruto vibes. But that's all I knew about her. Name, she wouldn't tell me anything else. I've asked if she wouldn't tell me her last name. Who is she? She's always here, even how old she is. She just won't say it, but the weird thing is, it's not as if she was visible or refused to answer. She just doesn't say anything, at least at all, just goes completely silent. I haven't even known what she looks like, or I've asked to describe herself, but she says she's forgotten. Maybe she looks like a mirror in her room. I know I don't have one. We talk through a small air vent in the wall in my room, though it's very low on the floor and very small, so I have to at least sit on the ground in order to talk to her. Hey! Wayne, you there? I heard a voice whisper from the corner of my room, jumping out of my bed. I scuffled across the floor, sliding towards the floor, stopping, crouching to the vent. Sakura, is that you? I called. I couldn't help but smile. It to her. I haven't completely lost my mind. Having someone to talk to really helps if she can see my face. Yeah, it's me. It's good to hear your voice again, Wynan. After what they did to you last time, I thought you'd be unconscious for days. I sighed to her words, but she was right. The doctors here, they would have kept experimenting on me more and more, in some ways even torturing me. Just to get me to talk, they believe I'm hiding the secret behind my ability, but that's not all. There's no secret behind it. I haven't even known how I just do it. Yeah, I know this is good to hear your voice too. It's good to hear your voice too, Wine in! I hear them coming, making their way to your room. She suddenly sounds panic, interrupt them mid-sentence. You hear them. What do I do? Sakura! Sakura! My hurries increase every time she tells me they're coming. My fear level jumps higher and higher. She was like my warming alarm. She gives me every time to prepare. The door suddenly slams opening against a wall. I couldn't help but gasp, and I couldn't handle myself hiding in the corner. There, grab her. A man in a long white lab coat ordered me as he pointed in my direction. There were 5 people and the 4 others who rushed over and grabbed me, all of them wearing some sort of face mask. No, get off me, no, please. This will all end for you if you just tell us how you have this power. I told you, I don't know. I screamed, desperately struggling to get out of their grip. This was the first time in years I was removed from the room. They would usually experiment or torture me in my room, so the fact that they were taking me somewhere only made me panic more. Although I got to see the room Sakura was in, so we paused, but I was so confused. Her door was locked just like mine, but she had no number, no subject number. Mine, for example, was 124, but she didn't even have one. All the other rooms did. I was dragged past and had numbers. What does that mean? Why does Sakura have one? It's been long before we reached a room with a large black door. It took 2 men to open it, the other 2 continuing to hold me out as the 5th guy stood there and watched. Once they opened the door, the men began to push me inside, and I was of course not going to let that happen. I planted my feet as firm on the ground as I could push back against them. No, I'm not going in. I refuse, but the 5th man just chuckles, walking over to me and standing in front of me. No, 1626. 6126, you don't have a choice. The other 2 men returning from the opening of the doors fully grabbed a hold of me, holding me to drag into the room. I thrusted as much as possible, clawing onto their arms with my overgrown nails caused by the lack of hygiene and medicines. The room was dull with a few dim lights flickered over the head, but once I sat on the opposite bed, the room lifted up brightly so that I had sprint my eyes shut, which was a mistake by shutting my eyes. I was no longer watching the men around me. By the time my eyes were open again, they had finished restraining my ankles and waist and tightened straps, even one strap across my neck. I had to hold back my head, breathing increased more and more, to look almost as if I petted my eyes, fiercely look around, but I suddenly let out a gasp as the bed starts to change position to slightly upwards. Almost like a distant chair, watching as a man approached me, leaning his head close to mine. Now then, 6126, today's going to be the same procedures as last time. We're going to ask you a few questions, and if you're going to answer, you don't corroborate, you get a slight shock, for example. He leans in, grabbing a large lever, pulling it down. My entire body aches in pain, and my voice bellows out as electricity floods through me, so eventually came to a stop, by which I was completely out of breath, gasping for air. I guess you must have a few questions of your own. Why did we bring you here? Rather than staying in your room? Well, I shall answer. You see the bed and he's strapped to and has multiple poles. The restraints are triggered to the machine that inputs through you just now, but we have to do this. He says as he holds a device in his hand. It looked like something like the older times that they use on medical patients to try and cure them, but it's not used anymore. How did he have it? It looked like a cross between between a microscope and headphones. We placed the situation on either side of your templates placed on your head to like undetermined shock, but this only uses punishment. Punishment for what? I yelled as I gritted my teeth, hissing as I tried harshly trying to stir. 1626, you must remember what happened in your last session. You tried to manipulate one of my doctors to kill him. Couldn't have that happening again, can we? So tell me, the power of yours, you use it through your eyes, right? I stared at him angrily. I was so badly wanted to kill him and all his minions strutted around the room, but the lack of answer only caused electricity to be sent through my body. The buzzing sound of the machine makes me groan in pain. How do you do it? Is it with your eyes? Yes. How do you do it? I told you, I don't know. I've had it since birth. I don't know how I could do it. The doctor interrupts me by placing a rubber plate into my mouth, forcing me to clamp my teeth into it. What is he doing? I begin to move around as he began to apply the odd situation to my templates. I tried to talk, but he just held my mouth shut. My breathing was in overload as my fear level hit maximum. Before I could even react to his words, the device was placed over my head and electricity was sent through to my templates, more painful, weakening me, draining out energy second by second. The pain was over and the machine switched off. I gave the doctor a furious look. Oh, you just reminded me. He suddenly grabs my jaw harshly, holding my head till as he drops it at a large in my left eye, only the left causing a horrible shooting situation. He chuckles, leaning back and placing over what seems to be a dark glass over his eyes. The rest of the men doing the same, watching as he walks past to some sort of power box. And for the final part, those eyes were doing this. He yells as he put yet another lever. The room illuminated with light so bright, so bright. But that wasn't the worst part. It seemed the light reacted with the situation in my eyes and it started to burn. It felt as my left eye was literally on fire. The rubber outlet falls from my mouth onto the floor as I scream in absolute agony, begging them to stop and turn it off, but they kept going until eventually I felt nothing. My screaming stopped and I was so weak I could barely move. The doctor switched off the blinding light and removed his glasses, rushing over hastily into my eyes. Excellent, just as we predicted. Only the left eye was affected by the light. The right eye is completely normal. The pupil relaxed to my torch pin light is normal, but the left eye won't react at all. Even the iris has changed from an eye color to a dual gray, almost like the color had been burned away. Extraordinary. Sorry for my torture, but sadly we weren't interested in your power this time. I lied for a few weeks. Time to come. We actually are testing a new experiment method. You were a great test subject. Sorry about the eye, he chuckled evilly. I could almost picture the evil smile behind his mask, but I was too tired and too weak. The world around me faded to darkness as I fell unconscious. Will, Jeff come save us or something? I'm a little curious. I slowly peeled my eyes open, my vision blurry and distorted. My ears wouldn't stop ringing and my head felt like it was being smashed rapidly with a hammer. I groaned tightly as I slid my legs over the edge of my bed and stood to my feet. Straining awkward, rubbing my head, which slowly my foot caught with something slid, causing me to trip. I tissed, turning my head to look at my left leg. I haven't walked right into the medical bed frame. I didn't understand. My Pacific awareness is usually imperfect. Why didn't I notice? Then I realized my hand quickly reaches into my left eye, feeling around the skin, felt dry, cracked, and I started to panic a little. Please don't say that I lifted both of my hands from my face so I could see them both, but slowly parting them, my right hand growing towards the right direction and my left hand growing towards the left, but I kept my eyes focused straight ahead to use my patrol vision. My right hand stays visible, but my left hand disappears into the darkness. I took a deep breath. It can't be. I can't be. I decided to do one more final test. I slowly reached my left hand using my fingers to pin my eyelids open, breathing strongly, making sure it stayed open, closing my right eye instantly bursts into tears, falling to my knees, and I sob. You expected to be able to see, even with one of my eyes closed, but as soon as my right eye was shut, I saw nothing. Darkness, just pure darkness, and I've gone completely blind in my left eye, all because these blasted doctors. Whine in, you okay? Whine in! I heard a voice call out to me, inhaling deeply. I slowly crawled to the wall before slamming the door. What did they do? You've been unconscious for almost a week. A week? It was strange. It felt like the whole torture only happened yesterday. That clearly wasn't the case. My eye? Your what? My eye. Sakura. My left eye. They took it. They took away my eyesight in my eye. I heard a small gasp through the vent before I sighed. I guess she didn't know what to say. Though I couldn't blame her. All she had was anger. I couldn't get angry at her for not saying anything. Sakura? You have a number. A number? Oh, a subject number on the doors. Why didn't you have one? There was a moment of silence, though she wasn't going to answer that. It would be like every other time, but I was wrong. She did answer. I guess the pause was just her trying to figure out what to say. I don't remember. I don't need one anymore. What is that? I suddenly was interrupted by the sound of something scraping against the floor, but I didn't see the sucker in my patrol. Turning my head to the left to the door, I could see a plastic tray with food on it, followed by a plastic cup of water, and crucially also plastic that could be thrown away, only used. I slowly make my way over, drinking the water but pushing away the food. Although the plastic cup was just familiar to false glass, it was faint reflection when incorrect due to cosmetical. Through it was a little destroyed due to panel and the fact that it was in a mirror shakingly. I held the cup up in front of me. Tears instantly foamed down. Once I saw my own face looking back at me, both sides of my hands were on templates, had been round burn marks. There were electrical signs on my skin, but that wasn't the worst part. The left side of my face. My eye was red and bloodshot. No white to be seen at all. My iris was completely gray and cloudy. Lots of all color, but my skin around my eye, it was about halfway down my cheeks. My skin was grown and tight. It looked like I had third-degree burns in the left of my face during the torture. My eyes felt like it was on fire. Maybe it was actually, judging by the damage it caused in my skin. Not my sight, though it was already starting to scar, so maybe it wasn't literally flames, just a situation. I don't know what I did or what I'll do, but that was Menifime yelling out in anger. I slammed my hands down against the floor harshly, so much that the plastic cup shattered, breaking under my hand. I couldn't stop crying. I was called a monster for my power and now my appearance. I really am a monster. As I continued to cry, I noticed something red on the floor, more of it by my hand. I sat back and raised my hand right to view. I couldn't help it but a gasp, sharp penetrated through my palm. Most of it would be halfway, but I didn't feel it. No pain at all. I'm slowly grabbing it, pulling out a large, thick chunk of blood, gasping, but no pain. It was possible that the electricity? I remembered that I was being electrocuted. I eventually stopped screaming in agony, even though the power on the generator was still and floating through me as possible. The current, the flow, the electricity of me, it was damaged my nerve endings. I can't feel pain. I cried, grabbing one of the sharp shed of plastic, squealing across my leg, blood pouring out, nothing. I once slit open and again on my arms, ankle, collarbone, even on my face. Blood leaking from every cut and gash. Nothing. I couldn't feel any of it. 661-24. This is an order. Causes all actions of harm to the weapon and still remain. A voice sounded through the intercom around the room. I couldn't help but chuckle at their pathetic attempt to get me to stop. 661-24. We will give you the count to 10 to drop the weapon and back away. The weapon? It was funny that they thought of a sharp plastic could really be used as a weapon. Yes. I looked around to see all broken plastic bits were shut enough to break the skin, to which gave me an idea. Don't worry, Sakura. I'll get us both out of here. I dropped the blood-covered shed and slowly turned to my feet, raising my hand as I skirted, listening to the blood drip on the floor. Which suddenly the door in my room opened. 2 doctors and a nurse casually enter my room. One doctor restrains me by placing a metal collar and chain around my neck, like one of those sort of animals. To my memory, the collar also gives a plastic electrical shock. The other door nurse Stanley picking up the glass. I couldn't help but chuckle, causing them to look up at me, freezing their clean. What's so funny? The doctor retrained me hisses. I couldn't see him, but as he was stood there to my left, but I slowly turned my head until he came into my view, locking my eyes on him, smirking and whiffingly, raising my eyebrows to jump a sly look, giving him a hint. His face dropped intensely, glaring down to the shreds of plastic. These bastards. Had to remember that manipulative technology was my way around things. I intense my stare, to which he begins to shake, dropping the chain and heading towards the other nurse and the doctor. I moved my glare to the 3 of them, running my hand on their floor soles. The doctors cry angrily and the nurse begins to sob as they desperately try to stop their own hands, grabbing a sharp piece of the plastic, lifting it to their necks. You could practically see their stain in the attempt to stop themselves, but there was nothing. Ooh, I like her power. I like their power. It's real. Y'all got some pretty cool ass powers. I smiled evilly as I watched the 3 of them slice open their own necks, blood gashing, spitting out to bleeding out to death. Fucking fools. I was about to remove the chain and collar when suddenly the alarm was activated and my room went into emergency lockdown as a metal door began to shield the exit. I managed to rush out just in time, nearly just removing the chain on the door. Pew! Heading to Sakura's room, I'm stopped by 2 strapped yellow policemen, straps ordering me to enter Merkfield but cross the door and make an X. Ripping it off, I shoved the door, rushing it intensely, covering my mouth and nose with my hand. The room scent was dreadful, the smell of rotting and decaying flesh accosted by my nostrils, the sound of flies buzzing through my ears. I glanced over to my bed to see a rotting corpse just laid there. It looked like it'd been there for 3 years, the flesh appearing slimming, practically melting off the bone, the collarbone on the foot of the frame reading Sakura's film. This entire room, I haven't been talking to a ghost? Oh! The clipboard on the floor of the frame reading Sakura's film. This entire time, I've been talking to a ghost? Running out of the room as fast as I could, but I couldn't look back, and headed to the medical to treat my wounds. The entire building was now locked down, meaning all nurses would be let out, secure patients, so the room would be empty to gather supplies. So let me get this straight. They've been talking to, you've been talking to a ghost the whole time? That's pretty cool. And it looks like the corpse has been there for 3 years. So they killed Sakura. Now she's a ghost. And that's neat. That's really neat. Alright, we're on chapter 4, the last one. If y'all want a part 2 to this, let me know. Once inside the medical room, I was in panic mode. I was not prepared in the slightest, and I was not ready to escape. But I had no plan. How foolish of me. But first, I tried to treat my wounds made by the plastic sheds. If not, I would surely bleed to death. Of grabbing the only stuff I knew, some sort of distance bandages. I had to work. It was usually a lot easier to do as there was no bomb hiss and cries of pain during the distance. I could get used to it. It didn't take long before I was done, but the next task was a bit quicker. Getting off the chain and collar. A wrong movement or adjustment, even just pulling it wrong, could cause it to go off. They would be very template. This could only cause to be, again, key. I said inside my head over and over. I displayed trying to look for something to unlock the damn thing. No use. I could try to grab a key of a doctor or nurse, but that's an 80% chance they wouldn't have one. Then grunting, I decided to keep it on, but to be careful not to bang it. Slowly turning the collar so the chain at the back of my head. I was wrapping it around my waist and secured it with the tip's eye tag. Believe it or not, those bringers are strong when holding shit together, can hold the chain together better than I can hold my life together. Rolling my eyes, I slowly peered out of the room. The hallways were chaos, red flashing lights, screaming alarms, systems, and the nurse running all over the place. Some causing some patients and some being chased by patients. I stepped out quickly, grabbing the attention of a patient. I recognized them from when I first arrived. I've only seen her, but remembered the face. Hey, what's going on here? I thought it was just a shutdown. Why is everything so manic? She suddenly gasped, hugs me tightly, pressing the chain deep into my shoulder blade. That was very possible due to the fact that it was wrapped around my waist. It wouldn't have to curve around my shoulders in order to wrap at the beginning. Through one sheath pulled away, the zip tie snapped and the chain fell into the floor, leading me back to a dog slashed on a leash. Good, zip tie. You were the one who freed us. When the building tried to close down your room, it was draining all the energy from her room. Doors open. She scrolled before running away, laughing. Oh, great. So by me locking in my room, everyone else gets to go free? Fingers? I waste no time running to the exit, bursting out of the doors, instantly coming off to a half. Once I reached the grass line, I've had forgotten what grass looked like. It was so green and so. Taking a careful step forward into the grass, it was so sensitive. Tickled my bare feet as I wrapped my toes. Soft. I make a dash for it, running as fast as I could on the gentle grass. The breeze brushing against my neck as my chain still dragged along the ground behind me. But I couldn't take that stop. I kept running for as far as I could. A forest coming into a view, but once I reached the edge of the beginning of the forest, I froze and I had to think. Briefly, if I was an escaped medical patient, I would be on a wanted list. I needed something to hide my identity from the world, a mask of some sort, but where would I even? For now, I would have just been present at wrapping the part of the hospital night dress. I used my sharp, overgrown nails as a knife to cut out 2 eye holes in a mouth just to breathe. I would have cut just one eye as a whole. That would make no sense, but I just wanted to feel normal within myself. Even if my left eye was useless, I would also make other 2 holes in the side of my fabric to place over my ears, hiding the mask in place, trying to take a deep breath. I rushed into the forest, dashing past 3 trees and jumping over stone or roots that was stuck out from the dirt. The ground was soft, but quite hard and rough. It felt so goddamn good to be free. Oi, watch out! A voice suddenly blows, but I couldn't see it, which only meant one thing. Turning to my left, all I could see was a flash of white before I'm clunging and forced to the floor. As a weight was applied on top of me. I think I know who this is. Of me. I felt causing the grunt as my lungs are compassed on the fact sitting up and grabbing my head. I take a few climbing breaths before my hair had fallen perfectly in front of my left eye, meaning whoever or whatever it was seeing my bloodshot eye through the eye hole in the fabric of my mask. I knew my hair covered it as if I could feel it wrapping my eyelashes as I blinked. What the fuck, dude? You just ran into me. The voice yells as it sits back and rubs its head. I grab mine due to the confusion, falling, stabbing, trying to balance myself. They rubbed theirs in the pain of crashing into someone. They looked up at me and glared at me, but I couldn't help but be stunned. The only appearance that I saw, even with my one eye, I was shocked. I don't know if I was scared. Or shocked. Or intrigued. Or what? Or just shocked. They had no top eyelids at all. Told you, Jefferson. Adon contained no eyebrows or eyelashes. The eyes were bleached, and so was the skin, so pale, almost white. The hair was a core chocolate black, but it was different. Chuckly frowning where the usual mouth covers would be finished up. The lids were two-sided, stretched out the face, causing a much larger intense smile. Although the cuts looked very old, 100% healed, so that must have been done a long time ago. I was so captivated, but they did look at the cells or did something at least. I felt so hard to tell. Without realizing fully what I was doing, I had Flint Lord raising my hands to my face, trying to impress their deep cheek slides, but I'm suddenly brought back to realization when my hands are harshly slapped away. That's funny. What the heck do you think you're doing, freak? Fuck off. They said, What the fuck do you think you're doing, freak? Fuck off. They suddenly stopped taking their pen in anger. Angry eyes shifted to my thigh before they busted out laughing. You've got a bit of an issue there, idiot. They laugh as they point out. I was confused, but they couldn't mean one of my bandages. But once I looked down, that's not what it was at all. As I fell, I had vegetably fallen into a very sharp piece of broken rod or twig or just something, as a long wooden structure printed out both my sides and my thigh, entering the side and exiting the other, blood dripping from the side into a puddle. I didn't even notice. It hadn't been in a pain. I grabbed the wood and slowly pulling it out, tossing it into the side before standing up to my feet and running away as fast as I could, deeper into the woods. Hey! Oi. Well, guys, that's it. So this is again a Jeff X reader book. So if you want to see we're on 4. So if you want to see part 5, make sure you get this video to 10 likes, and I got you. You guys will get that. I bet you. I bet you will not get it to 10 likes. I double bet. Or if not, 100 views on this video. I think I'm gonna go simple on myself, and I'm gonna just say 20 views. Give this a good 20 views, and I'll do part 5. Or give this a good 10 likes, and I'll do part 5. I don't know. I know you guys saw I changed my channel to Airy ASMR. So for now on, I'm going by Airy ASMR. So again, if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you like and subscribe, because we are on a roll to almost 10 subscribers. So please, I beg you, subscribe to me. And I know I sound like some kind of fucking beggar. You know what? I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was just like out of boredom. Again, this is a really shitty post. I'm sorry. I might not even add music. I might not even edit this. I might just edit some of this. I don't know. This was a lazy post. Again, if you wanted to see more, comment down below. And I got you. Bye, guys. I love ya.